Night of Champions had it all, but so's the burning truth. We've got rebooking debates, kendo stick chaos, and yes, we've all had the referee sprint of the year. Charles Robinson running to the ring like his life depended on it. We've got absolutely all the news, just like Charles Robinson had all the news getting wrecked by John Cena. We're going to bake it all down, reboot the madness, and decide once and for all, should kendo sticks be buried alive? Let's light it up. Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and welcome back to The Burning Truth. I hate going live because when I flub the intro like I just did, it's really annoying. But we're live, so we roll with it. And once again, I am joined by my co-host with the most. It's the one, it's the only, it's the hammer. It's Matt Burns, everybody. Good stuff there. That's enough applause. How are you, Matt? You okay?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. A bit roasty, a bit toasty.
A bit roasty, toasty, princess. Absolutely. What a show we've got tonight, right? So we've got Night of Champions to review. I was very happy with the results. If you haven't seen our predictions episode, go back and watch that now. Even more importantly, if you haven't seen Night of Champions, go and find that and watch that before you watch this episode, because this will not be a spoiler-free zone, Matt Burns, fair to say.
Correct. Although it may be a rage-inducing zone for one of us. It
may be. And the heat is what was going on in Saudi Arabia. And I think it's fair to say the heat is also what's attacking us in the UK. Midlands we're both based in. So how are you coping with the heat over there, Matt Burns? Burns.
I see what you did there. Multiple fans, and I've also got windows open and everything.
I hear them applauding. I heard you multiple fans. They were all cheering. I've just got one really big Dyson, not sponsored, fan. Although, Mr. Dyson, if you're up for it, we're more than happy to sponsor your content. Yeah, big Dyson fan pointing at me. It's very nice. It's keeping me cool.
And if you want to offer any fans, more than happy.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to donate fans, now is the time, because where we are, we probably only use them for 3 weeks a year. It's true. Right. True. Biggie's, I tell you what, let's go to the news.
What? You sure? You sure I won't go there? Well, let's just do one thing first. Because you've asked me how I am.
Okay.
Scott, how are you?
I'm hot. Let's go to the news.
This just in, and translation, what that was Scott just saying, I don't care how big the room is, I cast Fireball.
I was going to say this just then. I was hoping to beat you to it. Right, Matt Burns, are you ready for the biggest piece of news this week?
Go on, let's hear it.
The champions. So I've evened it up, Matt Burns, is the news. If you haven't gone back and seen our predictions episode, basically, I've clean swept Night of Champions 2025. Every single result right. 6 out of 6, Matt Burns. 6 out of 6.
Do you know what hurts even more about it?
What?
What really, really hurts about it more than anything? The amount of times I had the one-off. Just nearly there. And I
smashed it.
And it is you coming in like a wrecking ball.
I'm feeling really good about it. And I'm just going to put it there in the center of the screen, right? And you can't really see it, but you know it's there. And I want you to know it's there. The news is, Matt Burns, we've just come off an amazing 2025 Night of Champions PLE with WWE. And it's fair to say one of the events of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be.
As much as I'm livid over it, just that I know it's there. It's there. I mean, I'm livid over it, but the absolute content that was produced from Night of Champions was absolutely epic. It was, what a show. How to put a show on.
And do you know what I really enjoyed? We've talked at length on the podcast this year about WWE PLEs being 5 matches now and that feeling right.
Yeah.
But we said that, and then slowly we started to get a bit griped up as the shows started to feel like an infomercial. The pace of this show was spot on. The 6 matches was perfect. I thought 5 matches was good. The 6 was like the cherry on the top of the... Yeah, absolutely. And I wasn't even... I think it's fair to say I wasn't enamored with the 6th match either. I didn't know why we were getting Sammy versus Karrion. It was nice that Karrion Kross was going to be on a PLE, but I didn't really see the benefit of it. And actually, I really enjoyed the match, and I thought it helped the show tremendously.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because, like everyone's been saying, it's like he has been due a big match, which he has, and the problem is WWE haven't really showcased him as much. But I think it would have been a little bit better if they actually had him on a few weeks of episodes of Raw and everything.
Yeah.
To sort of build him up, not just going from just standing in the background, talking in the background, to getting slapped in the background, and then straight into a match. And then
absolutely.
Straight into like a PLE where he has been on like Saturday night main event. Yeah,
he's been on main event loads.
Yeah. Where Sammy's been consistently on the main roster. So I thought, me personally, this is why I got it wrong. I sat down and thought to myself, they can't be that harsh, sort of just go, here's your bone, here you go. We're just going to, we've been building you up to talk and talk and talk. And nothing.
Yeah. I thought, do you know what? I thought it was a really good show. I thought, I really enjoyed that match. I get that that is a very good idea, actually, Matt Burns. Let's start by talking about Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. Really well-paced match, I thought. Yep. The right victor, because I predicted it. Just enough making Sami look like a massive babyface that's untapped.
Yeah.
What they've done is, after Sammy's had probably a disappointing few months, they've made him look like a credible upper mid-carder again, with a match against, let's be fair, a lower mid-card Karrion Kross. I think
even though the crowd want him to be higher, and we know it.
Absolutely. But that is his positioning right now, right? But I thought they did a really good job of elevating Sami Zayn for whatever he's got next. And I really enjoyed the match.
Yep.
I can't really say any fairer than that.
Yeah. That's understandable. Fair enough. Shall we? Well, it seems like we've already gone out of order. We're out of order.
Okay, we'll just pick another one.
Right, so we'll just pick one at random. Let's just go with the street fight, shall we?
The street fight. Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. I've got thoughts on this as well, but I'm interested to know what you thought. You've got some strong opinions about this, I can tell.
Not as strong as you think. I just feel as though, as much as you can put somebody over, and the commentary team sort of kept dunking and just going, oh, Rhea Ripley's always beating Raquel Rodriguez and everything. And it's like, what a way to stick it to them. Kick them while they're down. Raquel's meant to be the villain here, not the commentary team.
Yeah, I get that. They were trying to tell a story. I just don't know if it was the right story to tell. I would have much preferred the story of Raquel Rodriguez is the only woman who can go toe-to-toe with Rhea in a battle of strength.
Yeah, that would have been a much more... Because bear in mind that in NXT, Raquel Rodriguez sort of was manhandling Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah.
Beating him. Right. But ever since they've sort of gone from NXT to main roster, supposedly, Rhea seems to be hitting other gears, and Raquel Rodriguez has not even come out the gates yet.
Floundered a little bit, hasn't she? And I know she's had not so much injuries, but illnesses. She has had injuries, but also illnesses.
Yeah.
I think the best is yet to come for Raquel, genuinely.
Yeah.
I think we still haven't seen her, and I hope this isn't another Natalya, Shayna Baszler
situation
where we never get to see the best of. But genuinely, I do think we'll see the best of Raquel Rodriguez eventually. I loved this. Can I just say, I loved the finish off the table in the corner because it was legitimately dangerous.
Oh yeah.
I liked that they pulled no punches, and because obviously they've got a relationship and they know each other, they stuck it in. Everything looked like it hurt in the street fight. It was exactly what it needed to be. I tell you what it was a perfect WWE street fight. It wasn't a death match. It wasn't hardcore.
Yeah.
It was a perfect WWE branded street fight. And something we'll come back to later in Buried Alive. I hate that they used kendo sticks from under the ring. But
wait. I like the fact that Rhea also showed whenever she faces Raquel, it allows Rhea to use more unique moves in her repertoire.
Yeah. Because she's not the biggest person in the ring. And
the silly thing about it is they don't address that at all.
Do you know what it's a bit like? It's a bit like when Brock Lesnar got to wrestle giants. Because Brock Lesnar's normally the biggest guy in the ring, but when he gets to wrestle a Big Show, a Braun Strowman, he gets to do something different. That's what it feels like when Rhea wrestles Raquel. Yeah, you're right. And to that extent, Nia Jax as well.
Yeah, and the scary thing about it is when it was Brock doing it, they always addressed he's not the biggest man in this match and everything. When we're in with Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, we just don't do that, do we? It's a missed opportunity, you're right. But I think another quality match on the card, and a match that maybe beforehand I wasn't too looking forward to, but I can't speak highly enough of this one. I thought it was brilliant, really good.
Riptide off the table. I'll be honest with you. I thought when she went for the left, I thought that table's going. That table's going.
Like it was going to, didn't it? And we did get the interference that you called from Roxanne. It just didn't help her in the finish. So Roxanne didn't help Raquel get the win. Rhea got the win over Raquel. And that is how I ended up 2-0 up, Matt Burns.
Let's move to the King of the Ring tournament.
Oh, yeah. Lovely. So we both predicted the same here, didn't we? We both predicted a Cody Rhodes win. And rightly so. It was never going any other way.
Yeah. As much as Orton would have been a good point, he would have been a good pick, a good punt.
Yeah, very good.
But, like I've said, Cody has a knack of always wanting to finish his story. And I feel like he should get to the final chapter of his story.
Can I just say was the best face versus this was the best heel versus heel, babyface versus babyface match I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that because you can see.
And if you don't know what I'm trying to explain there, it was babyface versus babyface, but both of them worked as heels. It was really strange.
They were both
somehow it worked.
They were both turning into absolute arses onto each other. But then again, at times you also saw the turmoil in their heads, and it was like, do I go that distance? Do I push that envelope? Do I go that far?
Absolutely. And do you know what? I enjoyed this, though. I did enjoy how far they pushed it. I thought it was the right thing at the right time. Overall, a really quality opener as well, I will say.
Yeah, I will say that.
Starting to get a bit. People are starting to get a bit frustrated with Cody's position, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. I think he's spot on. I think he should be doing this.
I think he's spot on. I feel a little bit sorry for Randy Orton being runner-up twice.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the perfect person to put people over, isn't he?
No, I do feel sorry for him, but I feel though this match had quality written over it. And it really did. What a match to have. Having it at Night of Champions, I would have thought we would have been at least seeing this at WrestleMania at some point. Not at Night of Champions first. But it was still a good place where it was.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, just answering a message there. But yeah, so quality positioning on the show. I didn't want Cody to the King of the Ring to main event. I wanted John Cena and CM Punk for the last time, and rightly so. We'll get there. We absolutely will. The right winner in Cody Rhodes. This is how I ended up 3-1 because we both had Cody. So Cody, Rhea Ripley, and Sami Zayn all getting wins, and rightly so for me. I thought we got it right with 3 baby faces going over there. And what happened next, Matt Burns?
We now have a singles match for the WWE United States Championship.
I don't know if that was any good. I'm giving myself a headache.
You were right. He's taking it all.
So, how do we feel about the Floodline 2.0? I mean, the Bloodline 3.0. I mean, Solo's new friends.
Where do we go with it?
I mean, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Tala Tonga now, which is
Helico.
Helico's new WWE slave name. Tala Tonga. So basically, Tala Tonga interferes in the match after Tonga Loa already interfered to return.
Yeah.
And aligned themselves both with Solo Sikoa to help him defeat Jacob Fatu to win Solo's first United States title.
Do you want to know how I feel about it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm okay with Solo Sikoa winning the match.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. I just feel as though
with it having so much interference because Jacob Fatu, we want to keep him looking strong, right?
Yes. But it just feels like Solo Sikoa is 1 interference, 2 interference, 3 interference, interference. It just seems to be the interference specialist, and it just feels like the Floodline keep getting an extra member almost every month or something. And my issue is it going to run into the NWO problem?
I mean, okay, I get what you're saying there. Absolutely, it could, but it's not the headline #1 attraction in the company anymore. So if they had kept running it down our throats as like the #1 story and arc, I would have agreed with you. But it isn't anymore. The Bloodline story, the majority of the people from the Bloodline storyline have moved on to do different things. And this Bloodline story, if you like, it might be a continuation, might be a spin-off. It almost feels a bit like Saved by the Bell, the new class. So like it's not Saved by the Bell, the new people. You know what I mean? It's got Solo there, but Saved by the Bell, the new class had Mr. Belding. You know what I mean? It's like
so. Basically, you are. So, are you saying that Solo is Mr. Belding, or are you saying he's Screech?
Well, it could be Screech. Yeah. What I'm saying is, it's a spin-off rather than a continuation. I feel. And so I don't think they're going to run into that problem like the NWO where it goes on too long and loses its steam, because this is a different thing. The best thing Solo could do this week is give them a new name just to separate it from the Bloodline.
Yeah. You see where I'm going with it now. Yeah. He needs to sort of branch it out into his own thing now instead of it just being, I'm the head of the Bloodline. Well, you can't be the head of the Bloodline because A, you didn't beat Roman Reigns, and B, if I'm not mistaken, Roman Reigns already upset has been taken away from him, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think
if you got the reference what I was referring to, a certain post.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Roman is going to be upset about that. What would you say?
I mean, explain it to us, Matt Burns, because not everybody will have seen it.
Well, I'm just trying to remember the name of the actual.
Just tell us what the post said.
Roman Reigns must be lit.
Oh, have we lost him? So I'll tell you while we're waiting for Matt Burns, because it seems like he's crashed. It was a picture of Donald Trump receiving the Ulafala from officials from Samoa, the Isle of Samoa, and underneath there was a caption saying Roman Reigns going to be mad because obviously Roman Reigns, Ulafala, tribal chief, etc. So he's referring to that. But I think, yeah, the bloodline 3.0, if you like, Solo's new bloodline, if they can separate them from the bloodline, I think then that's, like I say, the right thing. Matt Burns has dropped off my screen completely now, so we'll just wait for him to come back on. But yeah, we're having some technical difficulties here, guys. Give us a couple of minutes. We'll be right back. Right, and I think just that quick, we are back. You there, Matt Burns?
I have no idea what happened there.
Don't worry. I've just explained I've just explained the meme, Donald Trump with the Ulafala and Roman Reigns, etc. So
that's what I couldn't.
We can safely move on to the next match now. What are we talking?
All I'm just going to say is, do you know how long it took me to realize I'd actually got off?
A while.
Yeah. I was literally deep into it. Just looked at the screen and tried. No one's listening, are they?
What's the next match, Matt Burns?
Moving on from there, we've got next, straight after taking it all, we've got the Queen of the Ring.
Queen of the Ring, yes. And this was the next one that we debated the winner of. And we there was no wrong answers here for us, was there?
No.
It could have quite easily been either of them. The stories for each of them to go on to title matches at SummerSlam, and probably will anyway. I would like to see Io and Oscar, and I would also like to see Jade and Tiffy. So,
or should we say Jade and Naomi?
Well, yeah, Jade, Tiffy, and asterisk Naomi, yeah. But, two amazing stories on both brands. So it didn't really matter who won this match, but I think, for me, Matt Burns, the right person won. I'm interested in your thoughts on Jade Cargill getting the win here.
I was fine with it. It was just... It was clean. It was fine. That's it. Nothing to it.
It was fine.
It was nothing to it, but to get through it, it was fine. It was good. I thought they both worked really well.
Yeah.
Because Oscar had her technical game to try and take out the power game.
Yeah.
And I feel as though Jade showed some of her power in different ways and showed that she wasn't just a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Which was really good. They both made each other look strong. I feel as though regardless of who won, even though as much as I hated the fact that I lost this one as well, because as you said, because right now, I believe from before, because right now it's, what was it, 5-1 now?
5-1 at this point.
There's no balance here. There's no Thanos here. No perfect balance. But yeah, I thought they both complemented each other really well, and I thought it was a good showing from both sides and showed that Jade Cargill is ready for the next step.
I think so too. I think it's the right time with Jade to pull the trigger. Really looking forward to this match at SummerSlam. that she'll get now for a championship, and I think she was the perfect winner. The botch, if you like, in inverted commas, of the pin, I don't think was a botch. I just think she fell as she was covering. Not the end of the world. And I don't think it took away from the match either. There was a bit of discourse online about that, and I think it was just people looking for a reason to hate Jade Cargill.
I'm sorry, but if you're gonna hate anybody, the only person they should be hating is if there was a kick out, the referee shouldn't be counting.
Yeah,
so that would be a referee issue.
Yeah,
not a wrestler's issue.
For me, it didn't take away from the match. I thought it was good. Jade Cargill for me was the right winner, and like I say, this took me up to 5-1. So I was super happy.
I didn't see it as a botch. Okay, it wasn't the most cleanest, but the difference is the one thing that mattered was the shoulders were still down.
Absolutely. Shall we move on to the main event of the evening?
Let's move on to the main event.
And I want to set this up, Matt Burns, by showing you something, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Because this is the main thing I want to talk about in this match. Because it's my favorite thing that may have happened in wrestling this year. It's John Cena absolutely taking out Charles Robinson. Poor lad had run all the way down to the ring after Punk had been put through the announce table. And the poor lad got absolutely taken out by John Cena.
I've got a caption in my head right now.
What is it?
Take a bump.
Take a bump. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just find where we're supposed to be sat. There we are.
Genuinely, I thought it was going to be the infamous, the forever run. But they've got the right guy to do it. But
absolutely. You know what? This match had absolutely everything.
This was a match I was happy with on every level. Every level. Because this didn't just tell one story. This didn't just tell two stories. I feel like this had multi-layered stories, and it was so good.
It was a cup of nostalgia with loads of nods to the future.
Yeah.
Getting Seth Rollins and his new group out there for the match. Penta with his Jeff Hardy style run in. Just take your time, Penta. You just chill. Smooth operator. You just chill out on your way to the ring. You just chill out on your way to the ring while you're trying to save CM Punk. Sami Zayn appearance as well after his earlier match with Karrion Kross. John Cena, loads of babyface hints throughout the match, which I loved. Played that really well, but then for him to come back to that heel character at the end, and the graphic for this pod is the face that he pulled, where he just brought it all back to that original moment where he Elimination Chamber, where he took out Cody and turned heel.
But the only difference is this wasn't Cody, this was Punk.
Yeah, this was Punk. And CM Punk rolling back the years for me in this as well. I thought Cena and Punk put on a match worthy of their best matches 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And if that's the last Punk Cena match I ever get, I'm happy to close the door on it, but what a wild ride.
Yeah. What was so amazing with that entire match, and not only that, when I saw Seth music hit, I'm like, really? Really?
Century 2.
I'm like, really? And it was like, as he's coming down, I was just there thinking, does he hate Punk that much? Right?
He does.
And then as Charles Robinson comes down and gets completely clattered,
obliterated by John Cena. I've never seen anything like it. My absolute favorite.
No. Let's get this right. He run down that aisle and then all of a sudden, take a bump from out of nowhere. As many might say. All of a sudden, you see Seth look at Cena. Stay out of this. This has got nothing to do with you. Got nothing to do with me. It's my championship, boy.
Yeah. 60 years old, Charles Robinson.
and taking bumps like that.
Unbelievable. What a guy. He's got to go in the Hall of Fame, Charles Robinson, for me.
If he does not go in the Hall of Fame, I will call for an injustice on that. I will bury whoever doesn't want him in.
Yeah. And in the end, I think we got the right winner as well to continue the story.
Yeah.
John Cena gets the victory over CM Punk. CM Punk puts on an incredible show. Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, Penta, all getting involved. Crowd chanting for the OTC, and he is on the poster for SummerSlam, but we're not quite there yet. Give it time.
Shocking about it is Punk could have been a real villain if he wanted to. He could have just let Bronson tsunami him. Could have.
Yeah. So for me, the right winner in John Cena. Really happy with this match. Really happy with this PLE in general. And that's how we got to 6-2 in the total results for the predictions, Matt Burns.
It is. But what were your thoughts on the intro for the match? The build-up.
Fantastic. It was brilliant.
The talking of yin and yang.
Yeah, the whole thing was quality. Do you know what? People talk about who is John Cena's best rival. Is it Edge? Is it Batista? Is it Randy Orton?
Triple H.
And Brock Lesnar. But for me, it will always be CM Punk.
Yeah. As much as I feel as though Edge is a really good pick.
Yeah.
Edge is really a good pick.
But for me, it will always be CM Punk and John Cena. And I'm not going to apologize for that.
No, you shouldn't have to.
And
you shouldn't have to.
And I won't.
You shouldn't.
And I won't.
Good.
So what do we think of the PLE overall, Matt Burns? That's the scores on the doors now. We're halfway through the year. It's literally the 1st of July tomorrow.
So hang on. Reset.
Yeah.
That's essentially what's just happened.
Halfway through the year, we're back to even keel. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking for this PLE? Night of Champions 2025. How many bangers would you have given it?
As much as I could be so angry and go, it was one banger because I lost so many matches. I can't. I would say, if we did half bangers, I'd give it 4.5. If we did half. But we don't. I'm going to go 4 for myself. I wouldn't say it was perfect.
Wholeheartedly 4 bangers from Saudi Arabia. I thought it was really good. Really.
If we did half bangers, I would say 4.5. But we don't. But we don't do halves.
If it was out at 100, it could have had 90. But, but we don't. We do 5 bangers, and therefore it gets 4 out of 5 bangers. Yeah. And that was our review of Night of Champions 2025. Matt Burns, get the shovel. I love that, This is Buried Alive. What do we say, Matt Burns?
Buried Alive. And of course, dearly beloved, we're gathered here today.
Yeah, but gathered here for Buried Alive. Buried Alive is our version of Room 101, where we debate something that we would like to chuck in the bin of wrestling forever, so we never have to deal with it again. And today, Matt Burns, I have nominated something myself that I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with this in wrestling because I don't understand it. Here's what I would like to bury alive today. Why are there kendo sticks under the ring? Like, give me an in-universe reason that there are kendo sticks under the ring. I get ladders because we might want to fix the lighting. I get tables because we might have to put stuff out while we're fixing the ring up. Drinks on. Get that. I get chairs because it's an arena full of chairs and we might need some more.
And it might mix with the tables.
Yeah. I get tools because we might need to fix parts of the ring, right? But kendo sticks, why? Explain it to me. Come on. I want your best explanation.
For me?
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm defending it?
Well, I just want to know what you think.
I think the only logical thing is that the thinking is wrestling can be contributed as part of mixed martial artists, and you have certain wrestlers who are mixed martial artists, you know, a bit like Steve Blackman and everybody, you know, Ken Shamrock, which might have been viable then, not so much now. It's just basically a kendo stick is just a foreign object that you can swing at people that makes a loud clat.
The only reason I can think of that there would be a kendo stick under the ring is if they're there for crowd control.
Get back.
Literally the only reason. I don't get it. It seems silly to me.
Or
Or
they decide to do a Bushido match just without real swords.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can't even say that they're used by like trainers before the matches because like nobody uses a sword. Like, yeah, I just don't get it. And for me, it's silly. I can see like the stuff that could be under the ring, like the trash cans, the tables, the chairs, the ladders. I can explain all that away, but the stuff that you can't explain away is the stuff that I think that's ridiculous. Like the sledgehammer is another one. Why is there a sledgehammer under the ring? I get there's some tools for fixing the ring up, but you don't need a sledgehammer, surely.
Well, you might have a big, massive, nasty bolt that won't get out, and you might want to have.
You wouldn't need a sledgehammer, Matt Burns. God Almighty! But yeah, kendo sticks are just the most ridiculous, aren't they?
Oh no! I was just about to say a lump hammer might do better, but you know, but you have some people who want to over exaggerate and you know just swing it, you know, just full force it.
Absolutely. So, what are we saying about this then, Matt Baines? Can we bury kendo sticks under the ring alive for all time?
No, I'm sorry. We're not burying it underneath the ring. We're burying it elsewhere, not underneath the ring, because they don't belong underneath the ring.
Taking them from the ring and getting red forever. Great.
Right, Matt
Baines. Count it down. It's time for the top three. Right, very quickly then. This is top three. And this is the segment where I challenge, or Matt challenges, the other co-host to give their top three of any chosen topic. And as Seth Rollins did a fabulous job at Night of Champions, teasing cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, Matt Baines, what I would like today is your top three Money in the Bank cash-ins.
My top three Money in the Bank cash-ins. How quick do you want it? That's the real question. Simple as. Number three, I'm going to go with RVD at ECW One Night Stand. Simple, effective. Help get RVD over with the ECW crowd and really popular choice. I believe it was one of the first face cash-ins, was it? As in, but done in a facey way, not through. It was the first direct acknowledgement of when it was being cashed in. So that I put that number three for its uniqueness. Number two, and 2 and 1 are very close to each other, but one just edges the other. Even though you'll find the ironic of what I've just said. Number two, I'm going to say it was done at New Year's resolution. It was for the first ever Mr. Money in the Bank, which was Edge cashing in on John Cena right after an Elimination Chamber match. I thought, because it was the first one ever, the premise of it was absolutely genius, and it set the tone on how powerful the Money in the Bank cash-in really is. And of course, at number one, it has got to be the heist of the century of Seth Rollins interjecting himself in between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar to steal the WWE Championship and coming out with the victory and being the first one to do it at the cash-in at WrestleMania. So, quick enough for you?
Brilliant, mate. So, number 3, RVD.
Yep, RVD, which was the one-night stand. Yeah.
Number 2, Edge, the first ever Money in the Bank cash-in. And number 1, Seth Rollins, the heist of the century.
The reason
I can't argue with that top 3, Matt Burns.
The reason why is because they're all unique in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah, the only one that maybe would have snuck on that list for me, I really enjoyed Ziggler's cash-in the night after WrestleMania. And that may have bumped RVD off the list for me, but it's personal choice, right?
It might have been. The only reason why I feel as though RVD's takes it up a little bit is because as much as Dolph Ziggler was really good, it leaned on the usual premise of what Money in the Bank is usually used for when someone's at their weakest point, where RVD was the first one to officially say, I'm going to fight you at this one, and I'm going to,
this is where I'm coming. Yeah, this is where I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm coming at you directly. And it's like, oh, that's not been done before. And has it been done since? Oh, wait, it was Cena.
Yeah, Cena did it as well, yeah.
But he didn't do it on a PLE, and it cost him.
Yeah. Matt, where do we go from here?
From here, I believe you need to get your notepad and pen ready.
Oh, that's right, because it's time for
Rebook This. Just when you thought it was gone because of what if, Rebook This comes creeping back in.
Yeah, I think it's important that we still do Rebook This. I really enjoyed doing Rebook This over the last 12 months, or it's not even been 12 months, but over the last, 9-10 months that we've been doing this, Matt Burns. And I think just because we've now got the what if format, that we can still go back and do these little mini bookings, these little Rebook Thises. And I think these are good for my soul.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is everyone just says saying, well, what's the difference between them? Well, the difference says one being mostly centered around actual fate, where Rebook This is mostly centered around, the actual booking in the actual writing room.
Exactly that, yeah.
Not fate.
That's exactly right, mate, yeah. So, what am I rebooking this week? Because it is my turn, I believe.
I can see you getting excited for this one already. This will be the rebooking of Raven's WWE run.
Okay, are you ready? Do you want to be on screen or off screen for this?
I feel as I don't know. I'll let you decide, because in all fairness, I'm gonna have plenty of facial expressions and probably leaning in. I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay, we'll take you off then, and we'll do this. So the first thing that might surprise you with this rebooking is where we're starting. So what I've decided to do is keep largely the majority of Raven's 3-year stint in the WWE the same. He actually returned to the WWF. For those that don't know, he previously was in the WWF as a manager. And he came back to the WWF from ECW in September 2000 as the Raven character. He became quite quickly the face of the hardcore division. He racked up 27 reigns that's recognized by WWE. That doesn't include any house show shenanigans during the 24/7 era. His crowning moment was the WrestleMania 17 hardcore triple threat match against Kane and the Big Show, which was a chaotic golf cart chasing mess. He joined the WCW ECW alliance in 2001's Invasion angle, but he was mostly used as a lower card utility guy. And I'm actually not mad about it, because what it'll do is it'll give me a great place to start this rebook, which is in early 2002, where Raven had lost momentum, been relegated to Heat, pitched and then lost a 7 Deadly Sins character arc, lost a Loser Leaves Raw match to Tommy Dreamer, and had been quietly removed from major TV. So my rebooking begins in March 2002. And in March 2002, at the first ever draft, Raven is drafted not to Raw, but to SmackDown in the inaugural brand split. SmackDown is a kingdom of false idols, and I am the reckoning, says Raven. We see lots of handheld camera vignettes, grainy footage, quoting Poe, sitting in the shadows of steel chairs. He begins disrupting matches after the bell to cut cryptic promos over beaten opponents, and he claims that WWE's new era lacks purpose and lacks soul. He wants to cleanse it through pain. And in April 2002, he forms his cult. He introduces his 3 converts: Wrath, which is Albert; Envy, which is Billy Kidman; and Faith, who is Shannon Moore, quiet and reverent. Raven calls them the Apostles of Truth. Chairs form a throne at ringside. And at Backlash, in a 6-man tag win over some mid-card faces, the likes of Maven and Val Venus, Shannon Moore gets the fall because he is Faith. He has faith. Raven says Wrath is fire, Envy is shadow, but Faith is the light I can still hold. Now, as we go into May 2002, the Gospel of Pain, Raven sets his sights on Edge, accusing him of hiding corruption behind charisma. Wrath and Envy run interference in Edge's matches, and Shannon Moore remains loyal but quiet. At Judgment Day, Edge defeats Envy. Remember, Envy is Billy Kidman. But Raven lays Edge out post-match with a chair. Lots of chair being used here. In June, we see the first cracks. Raven's obsession with control grows. Wrath loses a TV match to Hardcore Holly. Raven berates him in the ring and slaps him, and Wrath quits the cult on air the next week. Raven claims it was a necessary exorcism. And in a King of the Ring qualifier, Raven then goes on to beat the former Wrath, Billy Kidman, because of Shannon Moore's interference. So Faith shows his faith and helps Raven defeat Kidman. In July, we enter Mysterio. Rey Mysterio debuts. Raven tries to recruit him, offering him clarity through suffering. Rey refuses, and Raven brands him a false angel. At this point, Wrath loses a match to Rey on SmackDown. And Raven begins to lose his grip, and Shannon Moore just watches silently. In August, the collapse begins. Raven blames Envy for poisoning the message and violently ejects him from the group. Raven blames Wrath for poisoning the message and violently ejects him from the group. Shannon Moore is Raven's only follower now. Faith is all that remains. And at SummerSlam, Raven versus Rey wins after Shannon Moore hesitates to help, and the crowd turns hot for Shannon Moore. Backstage, Raven says Faith must be tested. Doubt is the disease, and he will understand. As we move into September, Raven fixates on purifying SmackDown. He targets Matt Hardy, version 1, mocking Shannon Moore's past as a Mattitude follower. Matt calls Raven just another guy using Shannon Moore, but at Unforgiven, Raven and Shannon Moore versus Rey and Matt Hardy. Moore takes the pin after Raven shoves him into a twist of fate. Raven doesn't blame Moore, he hugs him. And Shannon Moore is quite shaken at this point. Faith is quite shaken. In October, we get the breaking point. Raven declares that Moore is the chosen one, but grows unstable. In promos, Raven starts talking about WrestleMania being the pulpit, and he will not be denied. And at No Mercy, which is that month, Raven versus Edge, brutal chair-filled brawl. Moore again hesitates mid-match, which allows Edge to recover, and Edge wins. Raven screams at Shannon Moore post-match and then collapses, and he begs for Shannon Moore's forgiveness. At which point Moore helps him up really reluctantly, but he's playing on his emotions, really manipulating him at this point. As we get into November, Survivor of Nothing, Raven enters a Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raven versus Team Ray. And Shannon Moore again is pinned after Raven misdirects him again. Raven yells at Moore again, but doesn't hit him. But backstage then, he almost gets a different side of him. He goes from shouting at him in the ring to being really loving and kind backstage, saying, "You're all I have, Shannon. WrestleMania needs us. Don't lose faith." Come into December and Raven's promos grow fractured. He's talking about being forgotten, stripped of gospel, ignored by fate. And at Armageddon, which is the Raven versus Rey Mysterio final chapter, Ray wins clean. Shannon Moore doesn't interfere. He just watches. And Raven hugs him afterwards and whispers, but you can hear it in the camera, "Forgive me." As we get into 2003, Raven declares he'll win the Royal Rumble and take back his throne. And in that Royal Rumble match, Raven eliminates 3 mid-carders. He spots Ray on the apron, loses focus, charges. Shannon Moore tries to stop him, but Raven shoves him aside and screams, "No one stands in the way of the prophecy." What happens? Ray drops the rope and Raven eliminates himself in a failed attack on Rey Mysterio. And Shannon Moore's left in the ring stunned. Raven looks up from the floor and he looks hollow. After a couple of weeks then, Raven returns to TV. He's deranged. He's ranting about WrestleMania. He's calling Shannon Moore the last disciple. And he announces a match with Edge, a desperate grab at a WrestleMania-worthy conquest. So at No Way Out, we get Raven versus Edge with more chairs, carnage, and tension. Mid-match, Raven calls for Shannon Moore to hand him a chair. Shannon Moore picks it up and then drops it at Raven's feet. Raven begs, "Don't leave me, you're all I have." Shannon Moore turns and walks away without looking back. Edge hits the spear and wins, and Raven is left buried in a steel chair throne, whispering, "Nevermore." And now we're on the road to that WrestleMania, and Raven wrestles a meaningless tag on the 13th of March SmackDown. He loses it. He isn't even acknowledged on commentary. And in a final pre-WrestleMania vignette, Raven's sitting alone in the dark, chairs around him. And he says, "And the Raven, never flitting, still is sitting, still is sitting." And he stares at the camera in the dark backstage and says nothing else. Raven doesn't get to WrestleMania. That is the end of the rebook. Shannon Moore is now over as the reborn babyface. Edge and Mysterio both get rubs for being central to Raven's fall. Raven's arc's complete. It's a classical tragedy built on hubris, obsession, betrayal. And I thought it was quite poetic in its downfall. He's released shortly after WrestleMania 19, as he was in real life, but his story ended the moment Faith walked away. And that is the story of it. Raven couldn't get to WrestleMania because he lost faith.
Raven, nevermore.
I tried to do something completely different there. I don't know if you enjoyed that a lot, but
I did enjoy it. And this isn't. I know some people might sit there and think I'm just handing out bangers here and there and everything, but there's a reason why the rate I'm going to give, and I'm just going to get to the rating straight away, and then I'll explain it straight after.
Go on then.
Banger. After banger. After banger. After banger. Ring that alarm. banger.
5 bangers, get in. Go on.
And a lot of you are going to sit there and say, oh, you're just handing them the 5 bangers with ease. And no, there's a reason why I've handed in the 5 bangers, because not every story has to have the fairy tale ending. It doesn't always have to be everyone's on top. Oh, he's always on top. It's
almost more poetic than it doesn't.
And it's more in the line with Raven than you realize. The real Raven would actually approve that himself, because the best thing about it is, instead of it being quote the Raven, nevermore at the end, it's literally the Raven is no more.
Exactly that.
And that is why it's so poetic, because it's almost literally, it's almost like it's a poet, a poem in its own right.
That's what I tried to do, Matt Baines. I tried to write a tragedy for Raven that was poetic enough to justify his character, and hopefully I did that. I thought Shannon Moore was the right person. I thought it might give him a rub as a babyface cruiserweight afterwards. That's why I picked Shannon Moore for that role. I quite enjoyed doing that. Thank you for the challenge.
The thing is, I knew straight away. It popped in my head, and it was just one of them. It was like, note that down immediately, and I knew I had to throw that out to you eventually. And I know you would do it justice, because I know you're a big fan of Raven.
I am. I do love me some Raven. For all the right reasons as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Raven as well, and I find it really, really interesting the fact that you actually. A lot of people think when Raven came into WWE, oh, it's his debut. No, it's his return.
Absolutely. It was the Raven character's debut, but it was not the man's debut. He'd been there previously under that previous gimmick.
Scotty Polo?
Yeah, the manager. Sorry. I had a text come through at the same time then, yeah.
Was it Scotty Polo?
Johnny Polo. You were close, though. I'm Scott. Yeah. He's Johnny. And he managed the Quebecers. So, amongst others. It wasn't just him. I think, Matt Baines, that brings us to the end of our episode this week. Thanks very much for listening along to us.
It is. It's unbelievable. It's just... I feel like we're just blinking and it's just going by so quickly.
I know. This was episode 376. We are well on the way to 400 episodes. Please stay with us. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we'd love it if you'd help us get there. We are loving doing this each and every week at the minute, and your support means the world. It's free to subscribe, so please hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it on your Twitter or on your X or wherever you enjoy your wrestling.
Yeah, make sure to be checking it out. And of course, as always, as we always recommend, we've even got a nice little message right about here.
Get to 1,000 subscribers.
Help us to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We'll forever love you. Honestly.
We'll love you forever.
We'll love you forever.
All the rest of our info from any of our socials, just type in The Burning Truth and look for the championship belt just above me or behind Matt Baines' big hairy head. Any other information that you need, you can get at theburningtruthuk.com, where we post everything and anything, including Matt Baines, our brand new merch store with some quality t-shirt designs that we're not wearing tonight because it's too hot.
It's too well. It's not because of the weather. It's just the merchandise is that hot. It's literally, it almost burns into you.
Hey, there you go. It's flying off the shelves. That's it from me, Matt Baines. Unless you've got any other business.
Well, as I've always said, until next time, stay fired up, stay passionate. And of course, always, always, always remember DFTBA. And in case you don't know what that means, don't forget to be awesome.
Excelsior.